I just have to remember to hit go live in a couple
And
minutes.
then we are live.
Yep. We got 8 amazing topics. We started 8 amazing topics. Google put a feature in that I've been asking for days.
Dude, I know. You've been asking it for about 14 days, actually. I meant to try it out before we hopped on the stream. Maybe we could try it on stream. I don't know.
Oh, we could totally try it on stream. But Google let you hum songs. So now I wonder if it can find out the difference between humming the song and humming a parody of a song.
Ooh. Huh.
Let's see how bad can you hum a song for it to guess it.
And it would be also interesting to see if it's hooked up to YouTube at all. If you could hum something else from maybe an unknown artist on YouTube or
Please
something
support
like
my
that.
Patreon.
Yeah. See how many songs come up.
Right. So I actually saw this title also, but I
Yeah.
saw the article before I saw that you had posted it in there.
Okay.
So I had read the whole thing,
Good.
but I
We
kind of hope
spent
you
too
do
much
too, because it's
Yeah, I
kind
did.
of confusing.
Yeah.
But apparently, someone's real angry that Google is diverse.
And is adding ads, basically. They're upset
Yeah,
about the ads,
that's-
is what I gathered.
Pretty much what
Which
I
is
thought too.
fair-ish, but, you know,
Yeah.
you can only be so upset about a free service having ads, you know?
Correct. Let me change my date. You keep going. I forgot to change my date.
We've got another article about 4G on the moon. If you like phones that are robust, such as Nokia, you might be interested in this new thing that Nokia is doing on the moon. I think it's Nokia anyway. I saw that article. I didn't add it, but didn't read it.
I saw it and I didn't read it.
Facebook is starting to combine Facebook and Instagram chats, and they've updated their API to help with this.
It's kind of weird, but I think I know the direction. So it's more of like a tinfoil hat article at this point.
Okay. Yeah. Good Guy Microsoft is not Good Guy Microsoft anymore. Latest Windows 10 updates are causing havoc for users. Who could have seen that coming?
It's going to be a great week this week at work.
Yeah. A profitable week. How long will it take a Mars colony to be self-sustaining? Find out here.
No, we
Stores
probably
are-
won't. Elon's asking it. We probably won't.
Gotcha. Stores are now advertising that they will be closed for Thanksgiving. Hey, throwback to the good old days. And AMD to continue the pressure on Intel to develop anything worth buying. I think it's good to have competition, unlike in the search engine area.
Right.
Go back to our second article.
So I kind of want to pull this humming one, even though I think this will be like the longest one we talk about at this point.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, and this is kind of why this article stuck out in my head. 2 weeks ago, you were talking about it would be cool if there was an app that would allow you to easily find songs that you remember something about.
Yeah.
So like if you remembered part of a tune, you could hum it and that service would pick up the song. Or if you remembered just a couple words, maybe they weren't even the same words in order, but you just remembered a couple words, then you could find the song. And now Google has just launched a service to do just that. The
What's it
hum to
called?
search feature. Let's see. It's called
Now in the Google app.
let me see. Maybe
So I just
it
open
might
up the
just-
Google voice search.
it seems like that might be the way to do it. It says, "What is this song?" And then I believe you start humming.
All right, let's try it. Hey Google, what is this song? Holy crap.
Did it pick it up?
So it wants like 20 seconds of humming. So,
That was enough.
no, it was not.
Okay.
So, I don't know how to do this without showing everything on my phone. So what it does is it gives you like a little voice bouncing thing. I don't know what they call it.
Gotcha.
But it's like a timer. I want to make us bigger, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to do it on your phone real fast.
Yeah, let me see. Oop.
But it wants you to hum like 20 full seconds. And
Okay.
the problem is, I don't know the 20 seconds to Hey There, Delilah. So yeah, whenever...
Ah,
right?
gotcha.
I was expecting 5 seconds.
What is a song that I know 20 seconds of?
Right? This is going to be an hour podcast of us trying to think of songs that we can hum to.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think of maybe a Christmas song, or the Happy Birthday song isn't even
It is
20
20 seconds, right?
Well,
But
I'll try the Happy Birthday song.
It did look like it was working.
Okay. Let me see. Close that. Close that. Oh, I have to say, what is this song? What is this song?
Not long enough?
Oh, that's hilarious. It came up with Feliz Cumpleaños,
Oh,
which is Spanish for happy birthday.
really?
So let me show you what it came up with. It should be good. Where do I move it? Hopefully it will.
Oh, it's getting close.
will
There it
adjust,
is,
yep.
yeah.
So it comes up with Feliz Cumpleaños. I can't read the second one from here. And then it looks like some Chinese or
Yeah.
Asian characters. So Feliz Cumpleaños, I mean, is kind of correct. It says it's a 28% match.
So do you know Spanish?
No,
Or just
but I
enough
do
of
know
it?
Feliz Cumpleaños. So one time
Okay.
we were in Side Story, Rabbit Trail. One time we were in a Walmart or Target or something, and there was a Hispanic family shopping, and the kids were yelling, "Cumpleaños, cumpleaños, cumpleaños," looking at toys, and we had no idea what they were saying. But we went home afterwards and Googled what is cumpleaños, and it's birthday. So we were guessing that they wanted that for their birthday. And then Feliz is
It's-
happy. I know
yeah.
that from
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I know that. But,
Okay. But you blew my mind right then. You're like, that's a Spanish song. I was like, wait a second.
yeah.
It's
No,
like
I don't speak Spanish. I barely speak English. Oh, man, what's another song that maybe Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
You are in a Christmas spirit, my dude.
No, it's just the only songs that I actually know, I guess. All right, we'll go for this as well. Oh.
Right.
Calling Stephen Broom.
Oh.
Okay,
Eh?
no problem.
Did you mean just
All right.
like... Okay, I was supposed to mute you real fast.
We're good. What is this song?
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Ours look different. Our screens look different though.
Does it say continue or what's it doing?
Unable to something results.
Unable to find a match. Okay.
No,
Unable to find a match. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
So
that's
my layout's totally different than yours.
okay. Are you able to show it, or is there other?
Yeah.
stuff
So
on
I did
your-
double check. All you see is my profile picture, my Google profile.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
okay, Google, what is this song? Twinkle, twinkle. Oh, you can't see it, and I didn't.
Wow, that is totally different. That's like a split screen.
Let me change my camera focus.
Okay. So in hindsight, what we should have done, and what I meant to do, was to find a song that it could detect. But it's fair to say that this is not as easy to use as it would be nice to be. Now, I'm not knocking on Google at all here. This is a very difficult thing to do, obviously, to just find a song based on humming it. It would maybe be easier for a human to do than a machine right now, but eventually I definitely don't doubt that Google will be able to do this. But there's so many songs out there that are similar that, you know, it's a hard thing to do. So it seems totally out of focus right now.
I can't find where my focus is at. Is it that? Is it really that close?
Is it set to manual focus?
Yeah, I just can't figure out where it's at. So this is focused all the way in, which I still.
Oh, gotcha.
So then if I start going out, so I'm going out, going out, going out.
That
now
looks
I'm in
good.
focus. So then if I start moving my hand and pulling it in.
Oh, gotcha. That's pretty good right there, I guess. That's good-ish. Good enough, I think. Yeah, so I want to see this different layout. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can't read the text, but that's because I'm on a small screen.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're going to get it popped up first before I show you
Yeah.
off my phone. Cool. What is this song?
Sounds like it might be one of these.
And it pulls up ABC song. Let's see if we can. No, probably not. I turn my
Set on manual, probably. So I heard it say the ABC song.
Oh, and my camera's flipped.
Screen's mirrored.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it says ABC song, Fagarki Mao Labro, and then
Okay.
Johnny Si Papa. And now we're gonna spend the next 15 minutes realigning my camera.
So I believe that the Twinkle Twinkle Star is actually the alphabet same tune. Yeah. So I just Googled it, and according to metro.co.uk, they are actually the same tune.
At a 27% match, so I know my alphabet 27%.
That's funny because when I did the birthday song, the Feliz Cumpleaños was a 28% match. So it seems like that's kind of the accuracy that they're going for.
And next week we will learn 2 new songs to hum.
Yeah, right?
How embarrassing.
I can't even hum Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
And then I was going I would hum Twinkle Twinkles, and then I started singing it.
The funny thing would be if YouTube's auto captions detect the songs that we were humming.
That would have been so
Because-
cool. Yeah.
Because I could see that being added eventually. You know, like sometimes even laughter or clapping can be added into the captions.
Yeah.
I believe by the auto-generated captions. But I could be wrong on that. But it'd be kind of interesting.
Yes, like mine wants like 20 seconds. Maybe you can see it when you get on a real screen. But no, it's just like a little gray bar graph, and like
Gotcha.
it almost pops up your decibel level, which how loud
Okay.
everything is as you go. But it was like 20 seconds.
Gotcha. Yeah, mine does not show any duration at all. It just shows the glowy thing.
Yeah, and I wish I could like. Maybe like something like this.
And yours also looked like it was split screen because I could see. Well, in one of the instances, I could see
Yeah.
some other
Yeah, so my
apps.
good sir Google, without taking it off, it opens in split screen.
Okay, gotcha.
Or half screen or half height, whatever
On
you
your
want to call
phone,
it.
it automatically is set up like
Yeah.
that. Gotcha.
Because I hate it when people like trigger it and it just takes over my like it takes over everything. So it pops up, I'm able just to swipe down and it just goes back away.
Okay, makes sense.
I mean, I can't find a good picture, but this is pretty close. Almost like this. And so then as you're
Gotcha.
talking, it was popping up bars as you go across.
And they're turning blue, I guess. Yeah, or they're
Yeah,
appearing as you go across.
But then, yeah, so like
Gotcha.
one would appear like every second or so. And then you'd. It'd been just super
Gotcha.
convenient if I hadn't have my camera settings on manual.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
The one
dare
nice thing
I.
about using a cheap webcam.
I'm so crisp and clear.
Yeah.
Oh. Speaking
Next
of
up, we've
being crisp and clear.
Google search results. The title of this article from the Washington Post is "How Does Google's Monopoly Hurt You? Try these searches." And this article kind of goes over two main things. One is about how Google's added so many ads to Google search and how
Mhm.
that's pushed down the first relevant search result like 28% or 60% or 40% or whatever the number is down the page. So it used to be when you Google searched, the search result would be at the very top of the page, but now they've added like 4 ads above it, so it's pushed down that first search result. So you have to scroll down, or you might accidentally click the ad unknowingly. And then the other thing that they brought up is how Google, in addition to the ads, Google tries to push you towards their own platforms. So if you search for something, YouTube is probably going to appear before Spotify or before Netflix, or Google Maps will appear before Apple Maps or whatever, which is pretty understandable. And there were 3 searches that they showed. Yeah, you can pull up that image. So this image is when they search for just t-shirts. And on the left there, you can see in the year 2000, they used the Wayback Machine to look at previous search results. In the year 2000, their first result was way up at the top. In the second picture, the 2013, it was below 3 ads. And then in the 2020 version, it's pretty far down the page with some Google Maps results ahead of it, a lot of ads ahead of it, and then a lot of t-shirts for sale on the right side.
Yep.
And so, go ahead.
Oh, and then this image shows how ads are displayed per year up to 2020.
So over time, they
Less
were
obvious.
indicating that ads have been made less obvious, which the big thing that I can see is the change in color. Like when they have either the
Background color.
yellow background, or recently they had the green background, and now there's really no background at all.
Yeah. So I was okay with the 2018 because that's actually what I remember the most is this one here. I feel like this yellow one was like in and out really fast, even though these were both like 2 years.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember the green one the most.
The green, the 2018, yeah, that's
And
what
then
I
I
remember as well.
This background one, I don't remember which one I remember. It's probably this one. But I do remember they used to be background. But like if you asked me today, I'd be like, yeah, they're background.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess I just scroll down by default, just
yeah.
because I know how it works.
Oh.
So for this first search, their big complaints were ads and how far down the page you have to scroll. And also, in one of those images, there was the Google Maps results above the first result.
So I remember why I don't remember what like my ads look like on Google search.
Oh, ad block?
Yeah, both my ad
That's
blocks
it,
were
too.
turned on.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Huh, okay.
And then Their second search here from the Washington Post is Question 1 Nevada. And what Question 1 Nevada was a state law regarding higher education. And I didn't look into that too much. But basically, when you search for Question 1 Nevada, the first thing that came up in Google search results was a snippet from an article from, I guess, the Nevada government about this bill. But the snippet that was gotten by Google and put on the search term was a snippet that just said vote no for Question 1 or vote no on Question 1. And it was just presenting one argument from the article about the bill. So I'm assuming in this article about the bill, it presents the two sides of the argument. One side being vote yes for Question 1 in favor of whatever Question 1 is in favor of. And then there was a second section talking about vote no if you believe these things. So, and then however Google's algorithm is written is picking out only one side here. So the second thing that they pointed out here was kind of how Google is presenting web pages in a certain way in search results.
So more of the story on this one then is to just install an ad blocker.
For the first one, but not the second one, because the Question 1 is a different issue. But yes, you're right about, I guess, the ad blocker. So this is just an instance of how Google may have snipped the section incorrectly. I think really the lesson here is Google has to have an algorithm to...
I was about to say, Google didn't snip it. A robot snipped it.
Yes. And there's no way for Google to manually do that because there's so many trillions and probably more than that web pages out there. I don't know how many web pages out there. It could be in the billions, but it's at least
way past the billions.
Yeah. Google can't manually go in and do that. They have to have an algorithm. And so maybe there's an issue with their algorithm, but what Google is doing is not an easy thing to do. I think the real moral of this story is look into the article and actually read and understand the article before jumping to the conclusion from the snippet. The snippet can only tell you so much. And then also maybe fact check the article too, you know.
So this third one is super weird. Because like I kind of understand his argument, but I almost side with Google in this case.
Yeah, I mean, well, the search 3 is pediatricians in Arlington, Virginia, or pediatricians, Arlington, Virginia. Yeah, and a pediatrician is just a doctor for kids, if you don't know that term. If anybody out there doesn't know the term.
Thanks.
And so if you search for pediatricians, Arlington, Virginia, then the top of the search results are Google Maps, which makes sense to me. And
probably put on a list.
2 of the top ones have a sub 4-star rating and have fewer than 20 reviews. Whereas if you scroll down the Google results page, you can click on the reviews site ZocDoc and find listings for a lot more pediatricians, some of whom have more than 200 reviews and much higher ratings. So here's the thing with this. ZocDoc, judging by the name, is targeted at doctors. ZocDoc. Whereas Google is just general purpose site.
How many
so it makes
reviews
sense that ZocDoc is going to have...
for ZocDoc?
It said 20 reviews for Google, and then some of whom have more than 200 reviews on ZocDoc.
So I did do the Google search one, and he was right. So pulled up the Google Maps, and it pulled up 3 at 16, 14, and 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled up ZocDoc and typed pediatricians in Arlington, Virginia, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then their review counts are 33, 12, 16, 1, 14, 14, 18, 33, 8, 18.
So he might be cherry picking here. I'm sure there are some with 200 reviews.
There'd have to be, right?
But I mean, I think it's totally fine for Google to list Google Maps at the top because that is another service built by Google and is going to have a lot of integration and probably easy integration between search and Google Maps because they built it so they have access to all the data in Google Maps. And I'm sure that ZocDoc is probably a better site to look at when you're looking for a pediatrician because it's built specifically for doctors, you know, to find a doctor. So
If that's what it was built for.
I think it, I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, it could not be, but with doc in the name,
So
I think it's a safe assumption to make.
That's partly why I side with Google on this, why it's okay for Google to show Google Maps, because Google can trust Google Maps to stay as Google Maps.
Yeah.
The reason Google doesn't want to put ZocDoc ratings on the top of its results is that what happens if ZocDoc gets hacked and something not okay gets on the website, or, you know, ZocDoc sells out, or they don't renew their domain, and then just one day you take pediatricians in VA and ZocDoc pops up with 0 results because they went under or something.
Or maybe they update their site and change their APIs.
Right.
Which is part of the integration thing that I was talking about with Google and Google Maps.
That's a good argument there too, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
so
third parties are not reliable parties.
So, I mean, I don't really take either side in this argument. I definitely side with Google in terms of putting their results at the top of their search engine.
Right? Like,
but
that makes sense.
But
don't use it if you don't like it.
I'd be in favor with, if you're gonna search for flights, probably go on a flight website, which is another thing this mentions. Or if you're searching for a doctor, maybe go on a website that reviews doctors. Or if you are looking for places to eat, looking for good places to eat in a certain city, maybe go onto a website about restaurants in that city.
So
and it's probably going to have a lot more specialized information about that.
I think that was like
field.
part of what Angie's List was trying to be. Was like Angie's List. These are people that Angie recommends. Like, we're using airplanes there at that point. Yeah. And that was supposed to be a type of review site, which I guess like any other review, like Yelp, is what was wanting to be. But then for anything local like that, I find nextdoor.com to be the best place. Because if something bad has happened in that store, it's definitely been posted on nextdoor.com.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Google's approach is more of general and applies a little bit to everything, but it's not super specialized. So I guess that's my 2 cents for that.
Yeah.
And then
now
was
they
that the
become
third search? Yeah,
super specialized, but then people will be complaining about monopolizing.
Yes. And I 100% agree that avoiding monopolies is good.
Yeah,
in the same way that we mentioned AMD versus Intel earlier at the top. If Google has a competitor that is actually competing with Google, then that will force Google to improve in order to stay up in front of the competition.
But then who's competing with Google right now? Bing?
Yeah, and so I definitely agree with the point that avoiding the Google monopoly is probably good. But in these 3 specific instances, like I said earlier, there's only so upset you can get about a free service, free to you, offering or presenting ads. You know, they have to make their money somehow. And I actually looked it up to find out how much Google has spent building their search engine, and obviously I couldn't find anything on that because that's
an unreal number.
Yeah, but just think about how much money they've spent developing just the search engine itself, not YouTube, not Gmail, just the search engine itself over the past 20 or 30 years.
Building spiders, scrapers, just to get website data. It would be unimaginable. Oh, and you're frozen.
And it's still free to use.
1 second here. You're a little frozen.
Am I better now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, cool. And it's still free for us to use. So, you know, That's not to say that Google can't do anything wrong with our data or that Google is perfect in any way, but... And yeah, I do think that they need a competitor, but can't be too salty about them using some ads to make money.
So how could there be a competitor to Google at this point? The Google search engine. It's so unbelievably big.
I don't know. I mean, if Microsoft can't even compete,
Microsoft,
Bing?
I wouldn't even think Bing is in the realm of competing.
it's
That'd be putting a kids basketball team against an NBA team. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, they do the
and-
same thing, technically. But one of their goals is 4 feet off in the ground. The other one is regulation.
so if Microsoft can't even compete, it's
Would you use an
Hard for
Amazon
anybody to
search
compete.
engine? Would you
I don't
ask
know.
Amazon what the reviews of your doctor were?
It's just, yeah. If big companies like Amazon and Microsoft can't compete, then maybe we do have a monopoly issue. I mean, we probably really do have
We
a
do.
monopoly issue. Yeah, but man. Anyway, on to the next topic. Actually, this video is sponsored by Jmart Media and Nephew Tech. We made it to the 30-minute mark on just 2 topics.
2 topics. Let's save the rest for next week. Are you kidding?
Oh, we can probably, let me see, what do we got?
We can hum another 4 songs for you. The first 20 minutes were spent humming.
Yeah, that's true. So we've got NASA launching a 4G phone network on the moon from an article over at CNET.
So 5G is okay for you, but we don't want to put too high of tech on the moon. So we're gonna go back to 4G.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting actually. I wonder why
I
they
wonder
choose
if
4G over
it's
5G.
cheaper. Like way cheaper.
I mean, I'm sure it must be a little bit cheaper at least, but could it be that some of the devices on the International Space Station are already adapted to work with 4G, but would require a significant upgrade to work with 5G, or maybe it's base stations on the Earth that would need to be upgraded? There must be a reason, of course, but
So I would also be curious to see on the range for 4G on the moon, if it's way
True.
farther, if it's like unbelievable, like the curvature of the moon comes into play because it's no atmosphere.
I bet it would actually.
I don't know if this is a dumb question, but is there dust in the air on the moon? Like, is
There's no atmosphere, so I don't know if that means it's a complete vacuum.
because when like,
That is,
I don't know if space
I guess it's probably
dust,
not a complete vacuum.
or if because it would be like hundreds of feet off the ground, if that just gets like pulled to the gravity of the moon and there's no dust.
I'm not sure. I don't think there's any dust because there's no wind on the moon. Unless maybe you stir it up, you know, if an astronaut's walking and stirs it up.
What
But it
would you
probably
call
fall
that
to the moon pretty quickly?
airspace right above the moon that the signals would go through? I'm trying to do a Google search.
Man, I don't know.
Hey, look, I typed "is the moon's" and then I put A, and then it pulled up atmosphere thick or thin. There is a very, very thin layer of gases on the lunar surface that can almost be called an atmosphere.
Okay.
Technically, it's considered an exosphere.
Okay.
That doesn't answer the question. Is there dust in the space the waves go through? The only reason I ask
guess
is because that would destroy signal,
ahead.
right? And so,
Theoretically, yeah. Yeah, I don't know much about. I guess 4G would be a form of light speed, or light communication, right? Because it's light waves going through the air, transmitting the signal. So I do think the speed of light is different in different materials. From a science experiment that I saw a while ago.
So I typed in to the Google, hey, look at that,
Not sponsored.
4G LTE distance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it says a typical cell phone has enough power to reach a cell tower up to 45 miles away. The maximum distance may be as low as 22 miles, depending on things, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
For 4G LTE.
Okay.
So 22 Earth miles is the lowest, but it could be 45. So we could say like 30 miles, I guess, is a fair point there.
Kind of average, yeah.
I don't know if they would need that many cell towers on there. Put one on each pole and call it a day.
But I bet you're right about the curvature of the moon coming into effect there, because the curvature would be more severe.
Yeah. I don't remember how much smaller, but isn't it like a lot?
Yeah.
It's kind of like how the Earth is nothing in comparison to our sun.
Yeah. So it looks like the moon has a 2,000 mile diameter. So from one side to the other is 2,000 miles.
Oh,
Straight
1 to
to the
4.
Okay. So it's 1/4 the size, or 1/4 the diameter. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could fit 4 moons across the diameter. So it's way tiny. Yeah. There's a picture for people who can't imagine 1/4.
Well, it's hard when you're comparing three-dimensional objects, because
1/4 of a 3-dimensional object is tiny.
it could mean in volume, or it could be 1/4 of the mass, or 1/4 of the diameter in this case.
So I think if you peeled the moon like an orange and laid it on the Earth's globe, it would be like the size of the Asia
Okay. The
continent. Thank you. Because I mean, there's Asia there, and then there's
the
moon. Like, I don't think it's that far off.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got surface area to compare, diameter in this case, or volume, or even just mass or weight.
Yeah, Asia or Africa. I mean,
but they must be trying to plan a lot of missions to the moon to make it worth it to have, 4G on the moon, which is kind of exciting, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't really say what they really want it for, besides just like data on the moon.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's that boring for the astronauts. They're like, nah, man, we ain't going back unless like we can like stay connected.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's the most boring 2 months of our lives.
It's been a long time since anyone's been to the moon. A lot of people go up to the space station. I say a lot of people, but a fair bit of people go up to the space station every year.
In comparison to the people that go to the moon.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Like, I think since the 70s.
Yeah, I think it was 70. 76, I think. What do you think? Last time someone went to the moon? I think 76.
I think 76 sounds right.
Wow, we were terribly wrong.
Was it 70?
Oh, wait, no, that's the Apollo 11 was
First person.
69. Dude, I just want the last. Well, this is how terrible Google is. Last time someone was to the moon. You know what the first result was? Not an answer.
What was it?
Oh, 72. December 1972.
Okay, so we're pretty close. Same decade.
Yeah, I was going to
Fair.
guess 72 till he said 76. I just assumed you were right.
On another note, back on things on Earth, which you might soon be able to do on the moon.
And APIs.
And yeah, APIs and integration. Facebook has introduced a new Messenger API with support for Instagram. I didn't actually read this article.
So I didn't read it too much either, but it caught me
But
on guard, I guess.
Okay.
Because I knew Facebook owned Instagram, which is like one
Yep.
of the big key features on this article.
Mhm.
But I think with this move, making Facebook Messenger accept this new API that supports Instagram, or makes it so that those
Mhm.
two messaging platforms are combining, I think
Yeah.
Facebook is almost splitting into 3 sections, where you have Facebook with its marketplace and then whatever the other sections are,
Mhm.
and then you have Messenger, which is for all your messages across all your platforms eventually,
Yeah.
and then you have Instagram for your pictures. And I think this is like the next integrating step, because on my business page and such, it already had Instagram integration. So if I posted on Instagram, it went to Facebook automatically, or
Mhm.
I could answer messages on my Facebook's page that were posted to Instagram. So someone did a comment on my Instagram post, I could see it and respond on Facebook.com through my business
Gotcha.
page.
Okay.
So like there's already integration happening.
Mhm.
So to see this step, it's like, yep, they're gonna try to like basically take away Instagram's Messenger, and then make Facebook's Messenger the messenger that both integrate with. So you got like this weird love triangle with Messenger and Facebook and Instagram. I think that's what's happening. I could be totally wrong though.
In terms of the API, it looks like one of the goals of the API is to make it where businesses can write or create bots or have bots created to respond to messages automatically. So Facebook already has this, where you can send a message to a Facebook business, and if it's a common question, then the bot can just respond, or it can say, a technician will be with you shortly, or something
Yep.
like that.
And,
Or no one is available at this time, but we will respond as soon as possible.
And a lot of those
And it looks like-
questions auto pop up on Messenger. So like when you go to a business
Gotcha.
page, say if you go even like now to a small business restaurant's Facebook page, it'll
Mhm.
pop up with like, what are your hours? What's the or what's on your menu? It'll auto have those little bubbles filled out, so you can click
Gotcha.
on it, and then Messenger auto sends you a reply. But then whoever's in charge of the business Facebook page sees that you messaged and they replied. And so
Mhm. Yeah.
that gives the business a chance to like get on their phone and respond, because chances are it's not business hours when you Facebook message a person.
Yeah. So that is, I guess, transitioning that over to work with Instagram as well is one of the goals of this API. And then also it mentioned some cross-app communication. Maybe you can send messages to a Facebook user from your Instagram and vice versa, which points towards like what you were saying about the Messenger app.
Yeah, I
'Cause,
think
yeah,
that
I mean,
unlike
sometimes I sometimes I think of Messenger as a built-in part of Facebook, but it's really not.
And I think
It
Facebook's
used to be, but it's
pushing
not
that.
anymore.
I think
Yeah, I
Facebook is
agree.
almost trying to separate Messenger.
Into its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even this week, super weird because I forgot its exact name, but it was called like Facebook Business Suite or something, Facebook Business App or something like that. And so I had 3 Facebook apps. I had Facebook Messenger, Facebook, and then Facebook Business whatever. And it had an update this week, and now it's just called Business Suite. And the logo is a clock.
Okay.
So it has no Facebook look at it whatsoever. It's very corporate-y feeling now.
Is that how you set up scheduled posts and that kind of thing for
That,
businesses?
yeah. And
Because I remember you talking to me about it, like,
yeah, when we used to do
off-stream.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Back before the COVID.
When I was allowed to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like so someone like if you message my business page, my Facebook doesn't ding anymore. Just the Facebook business app dings.
Okay.
Because I used to get ding
Gotcha.
across all 3 apps. All 3 apps would ding, and now only
Oh,
the one
wow.
app dings.
Well, that's nice, I guess.
Thank you, Facebook. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Because you were an admin on the business pages, so is that why you got notified before or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you're
Yeah.
the owner.
Yeah. So yeah, it would be a Facebook notification on my personal Facebook. So it still gives me a notification, but it like doesn't ding all of my devices. It just like pops up on my screen once I'm in
Okay.
the app.
Makes sense.
But yeah, my phone doesn't ding 3 times anymore, and it's pretty nice. I feel a lot less busy though.
On to the next article. We could leave the next 3 for next week if we wanted to.
Yeah, we can definitely skip that one. There's no point.
But number 5 is something that makes sense for this week because it's a real-time thing.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's not super interesting. It was more like, we don't have enough topics. Let's have something
Okay,
to
yeah.
talk about. It turns out if Jacob doesn't talk for a week, I have so many words I have to burn through. So this was on Tech Radar. I saw that when I was looking for articles for tonight. It says, disastrous Windows 10 update is reportedly breaking some PCs. Which is great news if you're in the break-fix business world. So it was released on the 13th, which was like a full week ago. Today's 19. Tuesday, last week. On I guess
Okay.
that makes sense for Patch Tuesday. But the interesting part here was not all of the people are having the exact same problems. And where was it? These include PCs experiencing the blue screen of death, crashes after installing the update, while the File Explorer also becomes unresponsive, along with printer and audio issues reported as well. So if everything but your mouse and keyboard break, you installed a bad update. So these articles like this, I almost feel like I have to print them to put them up in the shop, because some people, I feel like, don't believe me when I say like, oh, your computer installed a bad update, or well, it tried to install the update but it was bad, because like I don't know how else to explain.
Yeah.
Like, this is like it's like talking to a 4-year-old. It's like Facebook made boo boo. Not Facebook.
Yeah,
What's
it's
this
like
company?
Microsoft.
Microsoft made boo boo.
Yeah, I don't know what the best way to go is. Just like a high view. The operating system didn't update correctly.
Right? And then it's like,
Yeah.
if it's blue screen crashing, they instantly think, oh no, I lost everything. You know
Yeah.
what one of Windows 10's recommended fixes are? Reset this PC. It deletes everything. You know the amount of people that have clicked reset this PC and it fails because it's corrupt. And then, but it
Which in that case is a
successfully
good thing, right?
deletes. I mean, it still deletes
Oh,
everything, but then when it tries to
gotcha.
reinstall, it's just like more blue screens. So it deletes
Okay.
everything and then keeps blue screening.
Gotcha.
Sometimes it does fail before it like even gets that far, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, like on Windows 10, if it blue screens like 3 times in a row, it's like, here's some options.
Safe mode and
But
other things.
yeah, I wish I could just pull up like the order that it pulls things up in, because reset this PC pops up before safe mode.
Okay.
Windows 10 repair, I think. Yeah, okay. So I can kind of make it. So like it pops up with like Windows 10 couldn't work, and then you have to choose one of these 3 options. You can either continue and try to boot up your computer. Oh, I'm not showing my screen. You could try to continue and try to boot up to Windows. You can do troubleshoot. It's like reset or this PC or try to repair it, or just turn off your PC. It gives you 3 options to begin with.
Okay.
And then from there, it goes to
At the bottom right. Oh, gotcha.
It's either this one or sometimes it will go to this one first, but it almost always goes to this one. Troubleshoot.
Gotcha.
Reset this PC or advanced options.
Oh,
lot
and
of people-
of course the user's not going to click advanced because
It's advanced. It's not their.
Yeah.
It's not for
Yeah.
them. It's the employees
exactly.
only door.
yeah.
So they hit reset this PC. Because if you hit advanced, then it goes to this, where you have system restore, startup repair, command prompt.
Yeah.
And then there's usually another button that's more options.
Okay.
And then that has the like safe mode. Oh, that's going to be under
Gotcha.
startup settings. It's going to be safe mode.
Okay.
So you hit startup settings and then you get safe mode. But that's how confusing it is. And
Mhm.
like I feel bad
And-
taking people's money for some of this because it's like it's set up in my favor. I am the casino at this point. Like, but I didn't open the casino. I'm just the guy that gives you the money at this point. I don't know. Those are all bad examples. They make me look the bad guy. I'm fixing your computer.
Yeah. You're saving them from having to buy another computer.
Right.
Like, I mean, at a certain point, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes without losing any data, too, depending on what they've done.
Yeah. Don't ever click reset this PC if you don't know what the word reset means.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe we talked for 53 minutes on what, 4 topics?
Yeah. Well, we had a couple long topics to start it off. Apparently, it takes us a long time to think of a song that we can hum.
It's quality content, is what they call that.
Always.
Oh, man. Otherwise, it's been a pretty great week.
Yep. Pretty much the usual stuff for me.
Sweet.
No making videos.
Yay. Actually, we may have another video vlog coming out. Depending on if the footage turned out alright. We
Okay.
have somebody else that shot it and is editing it. It's pretty great.
Nice.
So we're going to see how it turns out
Is that for Nephew Tech or for a different channel?
for a different channel.
Okay.
An event channel.
Gotcha.
If it turns out really good, you're going to see it. If it turns out then probably not.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, until next week, we'll tech about all the things.
We're going to talk about all the